Welcome back to UBG Bytes. I'm Sarah, and today we're taking apart something that's been dominating tech headlines: Apple Intelligence. But grab your coffee. We're not doing another breathless review of AI features. We're asking the hard questions. Is this actually revolutionary for privacy, or is it sophisticated marketing dressed up in Apple's signature minimalist aesthetic? And what does this mean for attackers, defenders, and the future of AI security? Much of what we're analyzing comes from Apple's own technical documentation, their Apple Intelligence Foundation Language Models paper, and the private cloud compute security architecture they published. If you're serious about understanding how AI privacy actually works in practice, these documents are essential reading. They're also rare examples of a tech company actually showing their work instead of just making claims and hoping we'll trust them. Because here's the thing. When Apple says privacy by design, they're making a bold claim. In a world where most AI companies hoover up your data faster than a Roomba on espresso and ship it to massive cloud servers. But bold claims require bold evidence. Let's see if Apple can back it up. Apple Intelligence launched with a compelling pitch: AI that doesn't spy on you. They built their system around two core principles that directly challenge how everyone else does AI. First, on-device processing. Your iPhone, iPad, or Mac handles most AI tasks locally: predictive text, photo organization, image creation, writing assistance. The data never leaves your device. From an adversarial perspective, this is fascinating because it dramatically shrinks the attack surface. There's no cloud server to compromise, no data in transit to intercept, no massive database to breach. But here's where it gets interesting. Not everything can run on your phone. Complex AI tasks, the stuff that requires serious computational power, that's where Apple had to get creative. Enter private cloud compute, or PCC. This is where Apple made a bet that could change everything, or blow up spectacularly. Here's what they built: custom servers running on Apple silicon, designed specifically for AI processing. But unlike every other cloud AI service, these servers are stateless. Your data gets processed and immediately deleted. No logs, no storage, no "we'll keep this for improvement purposes." The technical implementation is actually pretty clever. Your data gets encrypted directly to the specific server that will process it, travels through an anonymizing relay to hide your IP address, and the server can only run software that Apple has made publicly auditable. That last part is crucial and unprecedented. Apple is literally publishing the code that runs on these servers for security researchers to examine. You can verify that the server your data is hitting is running exactly the code they claim. So, what does this look like from an attacker's perspective? Traditional AI services are a gold mine for adversaries. Compromise a single cloud provider, and you potentially get access to millions of users' conversations, documents, and queries. It's like hitting the jackpot at a casino where all the winnings are your personal secrets. The data is usually stored, aggregated, and often used for training, creating persistent value for attackers. Apple Intelligence flips this model. Even if you compromise a PCC server, you get what? A few requests that are being processed in real time? No persistent data, no user profiles, no conversation history. It's like robbing a bank that burns all its money every few seconds. Frustrating for thieves, great for customers. But here's the attacker's dilemma. How do you verify Apple's claims? This is where the public auditability becomes critical. Security researchers can and should be tearing apart those server images, looking for backdoors, logging mechanisms, or data persistence. The question is, will they find any? And more importantly, are they even looking? Here's where Apple makes another bold claim. They don't use your personal data to train their models. Instead, they use licensed content, public datasets, and web crawls. From a privacy perspective, this is huge. Your conversations with Siri aren't becoming training data for the next model version. Your documents aren't getting fed into the AI improvement pipeline. But from a strategic perspective, this creates an interesting constraint. Apple's competitors are using massive amounts of user interaction data to improve their models. If Apple's models perform similarly without that advantage, It suggests their technical approach is genuinely superior. Or it means they're finding other ways to get that data. Let's talk about what Apple actually built. The on-device model is about 3 billion parameters, small enough to run on your phone, but large enough to be useful. They achieve this through aggressive optimization, 4-bit quantization, specialized hardware acceleration, and knowledge distillation from larger models. The server model is more powerful, but still smaller than GPT-4 or Claude. Apple is betting on efficiency over raw scale. That targeted, well-trained models can outperform massive general-purpose ones for specific tasks. This is actually a fascinating strategic choice. While everyone else is building bigger and bigger models, Apple is saying, what if we built smarter ones instead? But here's where things get complicated. Apple Intelligence can integrate with third-party AI services like ChatGPT. When it does, all bets are off. Your data goes to OpenAI under their terms, not Apple's. Apple requires explicit permission for each interaction, obfuscates your IP address, and claims OpenAI won't store the requests. But once your data hits their servers, you're trusting their privacy claims, not Apple's. This creates an interesting dynamic. Apple gets credit for privacy-focused AI while potentially routing users to less private alternatives when their own system isn't capable enough. It's like advertising an organic farm-to-table restaurant that occasionally serves McDonald's when they run out of ingredients. Technically honest, but maybe not what customers expect. So, what does this actually mean for the industry? If Apple Intelligence succeeds, if users adopt it and competitors feel pressure to match Apple's privacy approach, we could see a fundamental shift in how AI services work. More on-device processing, less data hoarding, more transparency. But if it fails, if the features aren't good enough to compete with cloud-based alternatives, then we've learned that privacy has limits in the AI arms race. There's also a geopolitical angle here. Apple's approach directly challenges the surveillance capitalism model that powers most AI companies. If other companies follow suit, it could reshape how governments and corporations access AI-derived insights about populations. Here's the ultimate test: independent security research. Apple has made unprecedented transparency commitments, but transparency only matters if people actually verify the claims. We need security researchers examining those server images, testing the stateless claims, and validating the encryption implementations. We need privacy advocates monitoring data flows and checking that on-device really means on-device. Because here's the thing about privacy claims in tech: they're only as good as the verification behind them. If you're a security professional, Apple Intelligence represents an interesting case study in privacy-preserving AI architecture. Whether you trust it or not, it's worth understanding as a potential model for future systems. If you're thinking about adversarial scenarios, it demonstrates how architectural choices can fundamentally change attack surfaces and threat models. And if you're just trying to decide whether to trust it with your data, well, that depends on whether you believe Apple's technical claims and whether independent researchers can verify them. Apple Intelligence isn't just another AI product launch. It's a bet on a fundamentally different model for how AI services can work. Whether that bet pays off could determine the future of privacy in the AI era. The technical approach is sound, the transparency commitments are unprecedented, and the privacy protections are genuinely innovative. But the real test isn't what Apple claims, it's what independent verification reveals. That's all for this bite of InfoSec Insight. Until next time, stay sharp, stay curious, and keep breaking things. Responsibly, of course.